Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone around the world. Welcome to Mondays at Microsoft. This is going to be such a great show. We have so much to share with you today. I'm excited to be here. My name is Karuana Gatimu. I'm the Director of Customer Advocacy for AI and Collaboration, and I'm joined by my good friend.
Hello, good morning, Karuana. Hello, everybody around the world. I am Heather Cook, Principal PM, Customer Advocacy and Engagement for Microsoft 365. So excited. Hi.
I know, right? It will be a coffee drinking game this morning for every time we say we're excited to share something with you. There you go. Everybody have your liquid refreshment ready. But don't forget also, you can always find us at ak.ms Mondays at Microsoft. Share that page with your colleagues and friends, and you can download our calendar reminder so you never miss an episode. And I want to take a moment to thank everyone, all of us do. Our Microsoft community page on LinkedIn has now crossed 20,000 followers. We didn't start that long ago. That's all organic growth by people sharing and accepting our invitation. So thank you. We're very excited to have that presence there. And stay tuned for another announcement soon about more community landing experiences. We post a recap blog for every one of these shows with all of the links that we talk about on our community news desk on the tech community. And so in the resources section, you can find all this information. And that little blog post is gold because it's got all of the reference information that we discuss. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, you get your links as well. You can go to that community blog. And on LinkedIn, you'll also get live closed captioning. So that's something you'd like to use. Why join us on LinkedIn, because you can also find us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, it is a huge reminder and important that you can up your SharePoint IQ, and that you can watch our event on demand. Jeff Teeper and crew were there to share all of the cool features that are already available in SharePoint. Your sites can be beautiful and fantastic. CJ Tan, Melissa Torres, they all talked about making a beautiful SharePoint-based intranet from concept to creation to impact. Let's take a closer look what you can expect with this short message from Jeff.
Hey there, Jeff Teeper from Microsoft, and I want to invite you to one of the most important SharePoint moments in our history on January 29th. You know, SharePoint has evolved to the most flexible content platform, which is more important than ever in the era of AI. And we have, over the last year, taken the user experience for SharePoint sites, documents, and more to the next level. So we're really excited to show you our latest work. All of it will be available as of the day of event for you to build your own sites and workflows and applications and agents and more. And so please join us on January 29th for this critical, exciting SharePoint event.
Well, I'm excited for that. And what I also love about that event is we produced some skilling videos, a whole playlist, so you can go deeper into all of the features that we talk about. So make sure that you go and check that out. Now let's turn to some of the big news that has been coming out of Microsoft. We always promise you here that we're going to talk about AI and modern work and Power Platform and more. But this time we're going to talk about the fact that we have created a new type of matter. That's right. It's a new type of matter and put it on a new chip that is going to power quantum computing in practical ways. Why does this matter to you if you're a SharePoint person or a Teams person or a Microsoft 365 consultant? Because this kind of scale and capability will be used to solve some of the world's most difficult problems. The new chip is called the Majorana 1, and that quantum chip is powered by topological core architecture. And this leverages something new called a topoconductor. And that's breakthrough materials that can observe and control the Majorana particles. Right? If you know anything about quantum computing, you know that the observation and measurement of qubits and quantum motions, it can actually change their outcome. And so being able to reliably measure and monitor these new types of particles at a scalable way is huge. It's just amazing what's coming from research. Now, Shaitan Nayak, Microsoft Technical Fellow, said, he really wanted to take a step back when they were doing this work. He said, let's invent the transistor for the quantum age. What properties does it need to have? They really had to think about how they could apply this to challenges like breaking down microplastics, investing in self-healing construction materials, and innovating new climate change solutions. Right? This world-class research team, they're really fantastic. And what's great is every video I watched about this and the blogs that I read was very understandable to me. So they also have the superpower of explaining this technology to the rest of us who don't have degrees in quantum particle physics. They published in Nature, and it confirms that this published paper is, of course, peer reviewed, and it proves that we can not only create these Majorana particles, but that we can reliably measure them, and that's so essential for our next step. Krista Svor is a distinguished engineer, and she's the vice president of advanced quantum development at Microsoft. And she did a great explainer video on this. And I also found, as I was going down this, Domain of Science channel, which is really fun. If you're kind of a science STEM geek like me, Dominic Walleman talked about this, and he was one of the first people to go and actually into our labs and meet the team. Satya also talked about the fact that, these innovations are coming, but they also mean changes to the business models in the world. We've already seen this with AI and Copilot. Now we have this quantum computing release, and sometimes that can be even more complicated than the actual technology itself. But I loved his video discussing this and more, which you can also find. But I'm really proud of the research that Microsoft is doing, and I'm proud also of the way that they're doing it. You can listen to all of those advancements through the posts and the links that we're going to share, the blog post and the video. And it's important to pay attention to these kind of quantum computing releases because they are going to be powered with AI in the future. And that is going to bring even more change to the world. The other thing that's going to bring change to the world is the other major release that we had, which is a new model for gaming called Muse. It is the very first world and human action model. And what I loved about the development of this over time was the diverse and inclusive way that the team approached this. Sometimes the AI capabilities can take creators by surprise, right? And they don't feel that they're included in the process. So we already knew that. And so the research team made a huge effort to make sure that game creators were included in this process from the start, because the research is clear. Having a diverse team and being inclusive makes better products. So we also recognize that many AI innovators are from the global north. And so they made it a priority to recruit game creators from underrepresented backgrounds and geographies in this process that allowed them to create Wham or Muse. And I feel like what's interesting about this as well, besides the process of innovation, is that it can create game visuals, controller actions, or both. And they've also dealt with scale issues that we've normally had with these sorts of things. And we're able to create more reliable models as the model learned with our own data over time. So, there's a lot happening from a research perspective at Microsoft right now. These are two huge releases actually happening in the same week. And that is representative of the pace of change right now. So go and check those things out. I know that the Wham demonstrator will be made available so that other people can test with it. We've done that at our own internal hackathon already. But these tools are going to come to you. Maybe you or your kids or your friends will use these models to create their very own game in the future. So it's fantastic and interesting stuff. But of course, it's not the only thing that's happening. Heather's going to give us some insight into some more inclusivity and innovation. And I can't wait to hear about that.
Did we just enter the quantum phase? Like, what
We
just
did.
happened?
We did. Microsoft's been doing quantum research for a very long time. They're part of this large consortium of organizations. But we decided to take a different approach when we did our quantum work versus the other companies. And it's really paying off for us. And it's going to pay off for the world as these quantum computers become more practically available.
Yeah, super exciting. What was that? Ant-Man? Wasn't that the whole like,
Yes,
I want my
yes,
suit.
it
Where's my
was.
super suit? Okay, I just melded like three different things together, but that's okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, speaking of, talking a little bit about gaming, and there's so much wonderful accessibility work that Microsoft does with Xbox and other, gaming devices as well. Talking about Muse, there's a really great article about inclusive innovation for the role of AI in accessibility and neurodiversity. Anthony Mufaraj speaks a lot about accessibility in this blog, and his work and words carry the weight of lived experience. He is a diversity and inclusion coordinator at Australia Post, and he has cerebral palsy and mild dystonia and dyslexia. So he really understands workplace adjustments and how they make big worlds of difference. There's a quote from him that says, "There's a common misconception that workplace adjustments need to be large or complex, but small changes can also have a profound effect on someone with a disability. They can provide equal opportunities and enable people to thrive amongst their able-bodied peers." So, it's sort of like an example is everyone can experience more, the obvious benefits of AI with meeting recaps and the ability to ask it further questions after a call. And some of those things are just simple, like time savers. But for a person with a physical disability who has spent their entire career using speech to text to transcribe meeting notes from memory, the impact of this is very profound. So generative AI's potential to create more accessible and inclusive workspaces is critical in Australia, where there's 5.5 million people, more than 20% of the population with a disability. So this article is wonderful. Check out what they've been doing there, and how they talk about it is really wonderful as well. Just very cool article. And some of these articles that we do for the scripts come from this bite-sized update on Microsoft innovations and global tech. So yeah, bookmark this or go to it and check it out. So it's the Microsoft Monthly Tech-In, and it's on LinkedIn. It's great. It's where some of these articles come from when I'm searching around for that stuff. But definitely check that out. And we've got so much more here in our "In Case You Missed It" segment that Karuana is going to talk about from Microsoft Purview and Legal Week. This was a really cool article too. Karuana, you want to take that out?
Absolutely, absolutely. So Legal Week, some of you may not know that the legal industry was one of the first ones that I had an official tech job in. So we're always keeping an eye on what's going on. And Microsoft Purview is one of the core components, frankly, of M365 governance and readiness. We're all talking about it because of Copilot, but I've been talking about my Microsoft 365 governance for probably a decade. Really happy y'all are finally doing it. But the legal field is being reshaped by AI as well, like all of the others. And a recent study that Thomson Reuters Institute did recently found that 79% of law firm respondents, they anticipate that AI will continue to have a huge impact on their environment, which is 10 more points than in 2023. So, but what's important to think about is as we apply AI in these areas, and as you use Purview in particular, it's important for you to understand the way that Purview should be implemented. Now, we have two things for you. Of course, we have the Copilot Readiness Kit that goes into this in detail. But if you're not ready for AI yet, and you just want to make sure that your Microsoft 365 implementation is healthy, you can also visit our security page on Microsoft Adoption. And that has an adoption playbook for all of the security capabilities that you should really be thinking about in your environment. And Legal Week 2025, Microsoft Security is going to be there. That is in New York City from March 24th to March 27th. It is the kind of event that I used to go to and stand on the floor and talk about, legal technology and document management back in the day. And people would love to connect. So if you're in or around the legal industry and in or around New York, visit Microsoft Security at that event and learn more about how Purview can really aid you in having a safe path to using AI in your legal practice. It is going to be at the Mercury Ballroom in the New York Hilton Midtown, which is an awesome hotel. And you'll learn a lot more about Microsoft 365 Copilot with Microsoft Purview, as well as our latest developments in e-discovery, which we do a ton of work around. So it's a fantastic event to be a part of. But it's not just the lawyering side, professional practice that is getting modernization, but courts are modernizing as well. And this is so important to have courts modernize so that they can actually handle the caseloads that they have with more efficiencies. A lot of courts went through the first wave of this during the pandemic. They're continuing to push forward, but worldwide, courts are contending with growing pressures that threaten to bog down the judicial process. And justice delayed is justice denied. We have all heard that for many, many, many years. The need for accessible and fair judicial systems is, at least as relevant now as when William Penn voiced that back in the 17th century. So innovative courts are already busy modernizing systems and are still using virtual technology, right? They understand the power of virtual technology and also the capabilities of all of their workers to work effectively and productively in a hybrid way. So we help courts do that in safe and smart ways. And we have things called the AI Sandbox that allows for early experimentation with Microsoft 365 Copilot. And every court, whether it's a federal court, a state court, a local county seat, that path to modernization is different for everyone. And so it's important to think about these three key ways that are documented in this blog by David Williams, who's the director of Global Public Safety and Justice, to understand it. And frankly, what I loved about this article is the three areas are also something that can apply to other businesses as well. And that you'll see that as a theme in many of these articles that we release that are industry specific. Even if you're not in that industry, you can pick up news and information and good ideas that come from that. So check out the Access to Justice blog and make sure that you also visit the security enablement page, no matter what industry you're in, which you can find under products on adoption.microsoft.com. Fantastic stuff. Back to you, Heather. Oh my goodness.
You just made me hungry because that corner of Manhattan where that Hilton is, that's where MoMA is. And then also the halal guys.
Oh, love that. Love that.
So
Plus, love me some MoMA. That's a great museum. I'm a museum junkie, much like you. So every time I go to New York, I try to visit one.
Yeah, I know. When you said the Hilton, it flashed. I was like, right there. That's where I'm going. So yeah. Anyway, pro tip, y'all, if you're heading over there to Legal Week for sure. But yeah, and we've got some really cool, wonderful things happening in education and students that I'm going to talk about here next. We talked about the Imagine Cup a couple times ago, announcing it and letting people know, that was happening. And so the next phase of the 2025 Imagine Cup, it's meeting the startups who were selected to advance to the semifinals. And so these student founders are our future for sure. And their innovative ideas are sure to really capture your interest and maybe spark your own new idea. So the semifinalists receive advice and guidance through personalized mentorship and additional benefits through the Microsoft for Startup Founders Hub, right? So there's all these wonderful connections that are happening to really help further their ideas and get them ready for the next round of the competition. So there's a panel of judges of AI experts, startup founders, and venture capitalists as well. And you can meet all of those folks if you go to the link and check out all of the folks who are part of this. And they'll select the top 3 startups. So the startups advance to the World Championship, which they compete for the ultimate prize of $100,000 US and mentorship sessions with Satya Nadella, our chairman and CEO. So, and the runners up get $25,000 US as well. So if you're inspired by the ideas, just check it out. Those are great blog posts to write too, of what everybody's doing over there. Microsoft for Startups Founders Hub is just awesome. So definitely check that out. I also want to give a shout out to, and I've not met her, but Beatriz Mendez-Ganica is a senior program manager at Microsoft. She is also founder of the Nuevo Foundation. In 2018, she started a nonprofit, the Nuevo Foundation, where she works to prepare underrepresented students to become tomorrow's leaders. So the Nuevo Foundation's mission is to inspire kids to be curious, confident, and courageous. I love those three C's: curious, confident, and courageous, by discovering the world of STEM. So to date, she's taught more than 19,500 students and about computer science and STEM across 32 countries and 6 territories, including Puerto Rico. So follow her on LinkedIn. She's a great follow. She's doing all kinds of great things, and just wanted to make sure you knew about her nonprofit and all the great things she's doing for children and students as well. Other cool stuff going on. Women at Microsoft Scholarship. There is a scholarship committed to empowering women to achieve their dreams and thrive in STEM and business fields. The deadline for that is March 13th. This is graduating high school seniors. And so it's for that group of folks. It's women, non-binary, gender fluid, transgender women can apply today. That's the Women at Microsoft Scholarship. So this is all about amplifying voices of women and creating opportunities for us to all thrive in STEM and beyond. So definitely share this with your future leaders. And then I also wanted to just make sure and point out that International Day of Women and Girls is coming up. It's coming up March 8th, and we just had the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. And there's just amazing women that are doing amazing things. There's a great blog post on this. Alex Duncan, who is the Chief Technology Officer at the British Heart Foundation, Amanda Greenway, who is Manager of the Collaboration Technologies at RTI International. There's a huge list of all of these amazing women doing great things in science. And so there's amazing things coming. And March 8th, mark your calendar. Look at the International Women's Day link right there, because the IWD 2025 Accelerate Action has an amazing website with all kinds of things to download so you can celebrate the women in your business, in your life, in your world. March 8th is coming, and it's a little bit before, so you can make some plans around that. Would be really, really cool. Also, many businesses have inter-employee resource groups, so ERGs, that help you feel more connected. And for those that do not have them, via your business, local community is so important. I'm here in Phoenix actually right now, and we did this amazing community days here, which is part of our Microsoft Global community initiative. And so it was here this weekend. It was here with Karuana and Dan Home, and we had such a great event. And that connection to your local community is so important. And I think coming out of the pandemic, when we haven't been maybe in real life as much, it's just so important. So there's chambers of commerce, there's the Kiwanis, there's Rotary, there's all of these organizations, there's your local library, there's your Visitors and Convention Bureau, there's colleges and universities that are close to you. So places that I like to hook into as well around the International Women's Day is thinking Girls Who Code. Microsoft, we've had a relationship with Girls Who Code for such a long time, and they have this wonderful new 5x5 initiative that you can read about. 5 million girls and women getting more educated and into STEM. Also, there's a wonderful organization called Under the Sisterhood, and it's a space for women to be seen and heard. Elizabeth, the CEO over there, does just such an amazing job. And so, start making a plan now for that International Women's Day and connecting into your community, because there's nothing like being able to know your neighbors, know the people in your community, the businesses, the people who make your coffee, or where you go to, pick up a gift in your neighborhood. So super exciting to have all of that stuff happening around women in STEM and science, and then leading to International Women's Day. So give it a whoop whoop, please. It's really great to celebrate the women in your life.
Absolutely. And we're going to do something special all across the community, really honoring all of the women who have come before us, who are here now, and who will come after. Really important to be inclusive and remember that chain of folks that we are a part of in this industry. And we want to see their creativity too. We're going to turn now to Microsoft 365 Azure developers and more security stuff. And we've got some great announcements here. And one of them is about the SharePoint Hackathon. You want to share your creativity, join our hackathon. So first you go and watch the event and learn and use the skilling content so that you can learn about all of the cool features. And then you join the hackathon to show those skills off. Hackathon submissions are open from March 3rd to the 17th, 2025. You can sign up right now, and you don't have to be a developer for this. Don't make any mistake about that. You can be a business user, a designer, a solution architect, or a developer. Whoever you are, there's a place for you in the SharePoint Hackathon. And it'll showcase the diverse possibilities within the SharePoint ecosystem. There are categories for your submissions, usage scenario for SharePoint agents, designs utilizing out-of-the-box features, Viva Connections dashboard experiences, and extensible experiences with SPFX, our SharePoint framework. So we're going to be announcing some super cool prizes. You want to participate. Plus, even if you don't join a team, because you can have a team from your organization or beyond join the hackathon, it's a great place to get inspiration. Don't let your SharePoint environment and your internet look boring. Get inspiration from these amazing folks. And so you can find more information here at WAC SharePoint Hackathon. Really excited about this and being able to highlight these amazing people who are going to be doing work. You know, sometimes the most important thing you can do is be around other people who are innovating and have an environment where it's okay to practice and experiment with things. And this next announcement is all about that. The Azure AI Foundry Lab has been released, and this is a hub for developers and startups and enterprises to explore groundbreaking innovations from research at Microsoft. Right? Foundry Labs unites this cutting-edge research with real-world applications because we know that features only matter when they matter to somebody out there delivering business values. But you have to practice, you have to understand them, and we're all learning together right now. And that's what the Azure AI Foundry Labs is all about. So it highlights that collaboration between research and engineering teams at Microsoft, and it's a single access point for developers in the broader AI community to experiment with new models, explore the latest frameworks, and really be at the forefront of innovation with us. We all have to get to this future together, right? We are stronger together. We are better together. Our diversity is a superpower. And so we want to make experiences at Microsoft that bring folks together and let them really practice with these new tools. So developers can create prototypes using experimental research in the Azure AI Foundry Labs, collaborate with those researchers and engineering teams inside Microsoft by sharing feedback, and also help speed up time to market for some of the most promising technologies. So make sure that you are checking that out. The innovation doesn't stop there, right? There's also a fantastic tool that has been released called the SharePoint Pages Authoring Accessibility Assistant. Ooh, I got through that. Okay, that's good. Tina Chen, the senior project manager in SharePoint, posted a blog post about this. And what this does is this is an accessibility assistant that's available within the experience of SharePoint. When you're editing a page, there's an icon over on the left. This is going to start rolling out in February, so it'll make it to you over the course of February and March. And it evaluates elements on the page for accessibility. If somebody in your organization is using a screen reader or has other challenges with consuming web information, you want to make sure that your internet is up to speed. So it reviews text web parts, image web parts, quick links, hero web parts, banners, and provides targeted accessibility insights, right? And it checks for things like the page structure, right? Catching inconsistent heading orders, things of that nature. Did you use alt text? Everyone should be using alt text at this point, whatever platform you happen to be on, but certainly on your corporate internet. Are there any incomplete links? Make sure that you have table headers, and also color and contrast. That's something important to think about. There's lots of colorblind people in the world. You want to make sure that your content is visible and easily understood by those folks as you design your SharePoint pages. So Tina did it. Tina and actually Vesa, our very own Vesa, who's running the hackathon, did a great video about this, introducing it. And so make sure to check that out because you're going to be able to see that. And just with a simple click and reviewing what the accessibility assistant does, you'll be able to make your pages in your SharePoint environment not only beautiful, but super functional for everyone in your organization. So I was really excited to read that. Sometimes these smaller things don't get as much of a highlight as maybe they should. So I wanted to make sure to include that in our show this morning. And
Good
now
stuff.
I'll have a moment to drink some coffee because
Oh,
there's so much
here.
happening in business
Okay.
applications, dynamics, and fabric that I will be here for a moment.
Sounds good. Yes. Tons going on in business applications, dynamics, 365, Microsoft Fabric, Power Platform, all of it. The couple things that are going on. So I have a big soft spot for a team that I used to be on, Power Cat. So I want to give a shout out to all the Power Cats and Sarah Pant, who runs that team here at Microsoft. What a great team. Just so lucky to have been on that team for a while and work with all of them. So PowerCat stands for Customer Advisory Team. And so this program that they have, it's a Kickstarter workshop. It's Power Platform and AI workshops in a city near you. So they're doing them all over. And so it's designed to help accelerate customers' adoption and transformation journey. The program is no cost to select customers. It offers a set of day-long interactive workshops that have been carefully curated, based on industry guidance and insights from real-world customer adoption patterns. So through the workshops, you can get yourself on a great path for adoption and build secure and reliable, scalable solutions. And again, shout out to all the Power Cats. Power Cat, they have a great, wonderful YouTube channel too. That started when I was over there in the Power Platform community team, working with all of them so closely. So definitely check that out. It's super cool. Also, in the accessibility world, there's a new training course for digital accessibility skills that was shared by Jenny Leigh Fleury. Shout out to Jenny Leigh. Love seeing her. Had a nice conversation with her at Microsoft Ignite in our community lounge. She's amazing. She's our chief accessibility officer at Microsoft. She lays out a whole new course from Teach Access, and that covers 5 key areas of accessibility from 101 to 201 level. It's free and available online, and it's been created in partnership with Microsoft engineers and using the training that we created for our employees. So congrats, Teach Access, and all the Microsoft folks that were involved with putting that together. It's super cool. Modules include developing keyboard accessible products, products with screen reader support, products with accessible color contrast, accessible resize and reflow, and then accessibility design specs with annotations. So definitely check that out. It's awesome. Another announcement in this world is the GitHub Copilot chat, which is now available for free on GitHub Mobile. So take it with you. I'm excited that that's for free out there, whether you're doing, you're having coding challenges, brainstorming ideas, or working remotely. GitHub Copilot chat will streamline your collaboration, and you can download the app for iOS or Android. And that takes me into our community segment and events and everything that's going on. Again, always so much going on with our communities. This is what just happened. A nice shout out to Michigan, where I'm from, and some Ben over there who works on that. Collab Days Bremen. So we had DC and Phoenix happening at the same time. So it was a shout out to the folks in Washington, DC, and Arlington, Virginia, and then all of our organizers, Cheryl, who helped organize and really, did so much, and Galen and Ryan and Sherry and Mike and Dave and just all the folks, and Hal, all the folks that helped out with Phoenix. It was great to sometimes, with what's been going on in the world and the pandemic and everything, sometimes you need to rehydrate. User groups or these events and things that, that so many people have done for like decades, right? They worked on it for a long time, and maybe some new people have come on to take them on. And so it's just really cool to see that as part of this communitydays.org and our Microsoft Global Community Initiative. We have tons of stuff coming up. Course, we're in high event season in the world in tech. Yes, big shout out for DC David Barry. It was super cool, everybody over there. We've got tons coming up. Knoxville's coming up. There's tons of things across the world. We've got events in Africa, in Sweden, and Collab Days Poland, Dynamic Minds, all of these. And this is from like now in February, up and until May. There's tons and tons of stuff happening. Nashville, Louis. And then there's some paid events that are coming up as well. These are all the free events. Remember, there's free technical skilling events, and there's ones that are paid as well. Yay, Pat McGowan, who's a regional leader and worked on that event as well in DC. I think you all were a sponsor of both events. Thank you for that. Tons of things. Denmark, New Zealand, Las Vegas, Fabric Conference is coming up, Experts Live Germany, Philly, the community conference that we've been talking about in Las Vegas, Dynamics Con, a lot going on, Chicago, I mean, I can just read this wonderful screen and give shout outs to everybody because it's so awesome. So yeah, so definitely check these out at communitydays.org. Look for your calls for content. Look for calls for sponsorship if you're a Microsoft partner and a local community member and would like to sponsor. So much going on. It was really great to be in Phoenix with so many people, and with Karuana, which was super awesome. And Dan Holm was one of our keynotes, well, which was super cool too. So it was just it's always great to see so many things going on in all of that. And we also have our community calls. Don't forget about that. That's also on communitydays.org. So we have a champions call. Vesa and the developer side, they have the Power Platform developer call with Microsoft 365. There's tons and tons of calls going on at every given time. There's a small and medium business call as well. So all kinds of things happening there. And and also to not forget, we've been talking about disaster assistance.gov. That's something that, with so many things going on in the world, just making sure that, saying thank you to the first responders out in the world who always help when disaster strikes. It's a great website to go to kind of know what's going on and to see what service agencies are available to you. And last but not least, but the AI tour is still going on too. So we've got all kinds of things happening with the AI tour as well. And yeah, I will say, I just did a promo video for M365 conference, and it was really fun to talk about some of the, I love talking about the content, of course, but I was also talking about, I was like, what am I going to wear? What costumes are we doing? What days are we wearing what? And what kind of fun stuff is happening in the community, the community lounge area. And so I did a little teaser on that. And so more to come on those things. And we're thinking about that for the show in Vegas, and, also thinking about our other shows too. So yeah.
Exactly. We're going to have such a great time at the Microsoft 365 conference. There is still time for you to get your ticket. So you should join us there at M365 conference, May 6th through 8th in Las Vegas. Everyone will be there. It is a show you don't want to miss to build your technical skills, connect with the community, have some fun. You can see us at our community news desk. We knew we were going to go a little long today, but we had so much information we wanted to bring to you. We want to make sure that you are up to date. That is the purpose of Mondays at Microsoft. And stay tuned though in our community channels, because our next show is going to be March 10th. And so you'll stay tuned because we'll do fun stuff for International Women's Day and other things that are happening. Make sure you've hit subscribe to us wherever you're watching us now, but on our LinkedIn page or the Microsoft Community Learning channel on YouTube. Those are both fantastic things to stay subscribed to so that you can stay up to date to everything that's happening across the Microsoft ecosystem. We are so happy and privileged to get to be with you. Thank you, Heather, for a fantastic report. And we can't wait to see you at one of these events around the world. Come up and say hello. We're always happy to meet people. It was so fun to do that in Phoenix and get to meet people who may have seen us here, but never got to meet them in person. So that was really wonderful. Enjoy your day. Share our episode with your friends, and we'll see you again soon at Mondays at Microsoft. Take care. Bye-bye.